Am I the asshole for telling my daughter that she's getting what she deserves? I, 58 male, have 2 daughters. One from a previous marriage and another from my wife's previous marriage. Both daughters are around the same age, think mid-20s. My daughter Ali has never gotten along with her stepsister Johanna. If Johanna invited Ali to a movie, Ali was suddenly super busy and had no time. If Johanna wanted to come with Ali to a party, Johanna wasn't invited and there was no way she could bring her. She'd rip up Joanna's things and would blame Johanna when she'd be grounded. Just the run-of-the-mill petty teenager bullstink. Johanna was a good sport and always seemed to take things on the chin. Her explanation was always that sisters fight, until about maybe 3 or 4 summers ago Ali was home from college and was going through a rough breakup that was causing her grades to tank, which put her on academic probation. Ali was upset and was taking it out on everyone, especially Johanna. My wife and I told her to cut it out and she seemed to catch on that her behavior wasn't gonna be accepted. Come to find out after Ali leaves to go back to college that she'd completely destroyed Johanna's scrapbook with pictures of her dad and destroyed a lot of the shirts she had left of his. Johanna didn't make a stink about it in front of us, but that night the house stunk of E6000 and Mod Podge. You could guess what she spent the night doing. After that incident, Johanna had completely given up on Ali. Ali has a birthday coming up, Johanna wouldn't even sign the card. Ali is in town for the weekend. Unless it's a holiday or family event, Johanna wasn't there. And honestly, we didn't blame her. Now the issue is that Ali wants Johanna to let things go and let bygones be bygones. Johanna is getting married soon, and Ali wants an invite. It was brought up this past week at a family dinner. Johanna and her fiancé as well as their son attended. Ali and her wife and 2 girls attended as well. Ali brought up how the kids were the same age and how it'd be cool after the wedding if the kids could hang out. Ali also asked what she should wear to Johanna's wedding and if she'd be a bridesmaid. Johanna pretty much laid it out for Ali that she wasn't coming and that the kids wouldn't be seeing each other outside of family events. The night was pretty tense afterwards and I asked Johanna if there was any way she could forgive Ali. She said she wanted nothing to do with her and I told her I fully understand that she carries a lot of hurt from how Ali treated her. Ali came to me after Johanna left and pretty much begged me to convince Johanna to move past things. I told her that had she been a more considerate and kind person back then that maybe she'd have a chance at a relationship with her stepsister. I told her that she made her bed and she needs to lay in it. She said I'm a hole and that any good father would want to see his kids reunite. Am I the asshole for telling her she deserves this? Info. For everyone asking and making assumptions about my parenting, Ali was never allowed to slide with anything she did to her sister. She was grounded, she had things taken from her. We replaced the things we would that she broke and we made sure Johanna was supported and validated throughout the years. We never told Johanna to get over anything, we never told her she had to forgive Ali. When we offered Ali therapy, she was 14. We weren't going to force our daughter to go to therapy where chances were, she could just tell her therapist she didn't want to be there and be uncooperative, and most likely have the therapist stop seeing her as we can't and weren't gonna force a kid to be somewhere she didn't want to be, just for her to lash out at her sister even worse. When Ali destroyed those things she was banned from coming back until she apologized and made things right by Johanna. Johanna said herself she didn't want the apology and my wife and I did our best to surround her with love while she was grieving the loss of those things she cared for. Johanna moved out so the punishment was moot. We are aware Ali sucks, we did everything we could within reason. I didn't raise Ali to be this way, we didn't encourage this nor did we allow her to believe the behavior was acceptable. Edit. This thread is an absolute pit of people who don't seem to understand some kids just aren't receptive. I'm kind of done seeking internet help here, you all seem wonderful and I'll be sure that on the next go around I toss my kid to a psych ward and pit all blame on the healthcare system for not fixing them. Jesus Christ, never become parents. Apart from Johanna. Where were you when Ali was bullying Johanna? For years? Not the asshole, but this judgment is strongly predicated on you addressing what steps you took to rein in Ali during her years of terror, and what punishment you meted out after she heartlessly destroyed Johanna's precious belongings. Regardless, Ali can't demand forgiveness. That's up to Johanna and I wouldn't blame her for never granting it. So, info. What steps did you take? Honestly, I'm not sure how, as a parent, I could ever look at my child the same way again knowing they purposefully destroyed someone's scrapbook of their absent parent. Of course she'd never forgive her. I'm struggling to understand how you even do. Also she hasn't shown that she's changed. At all. She's still completely lacking empathy, acting narcissistic and entitled. Why would anyone want to offer an olive branch to that? I'd be more concerned she's going to sabotage the wedding out of jealousy or something. No vote in this instance. You're not the asshole, but you have been for even letting it get this far when they were younger. Not the asshole for being on Johanna's side now. But what the hell were you doing when your teenage daughter was terrorizing your stepdaughter and destroying her property? Everyone sucks here aside from Johanna. Ali sounds awful, and you and your wife have failed Johanna as long as you've known her. If they're mid-20s and were home from college 3-4 years ago, well, a 20-year-old behaving like that is a lot different than a 12-year-old. Johanna sounds pretty amazing though. I know I wouldn't have taken things on the chin. Not the asshole. Honestly, Ali treated Johanna terribly. She'd completely destroyed Johanna's scrapbook with pictures of her dad and destroyed a lot of the shirts she had left of his. There is no way I would ever forgive a person who did this. The stuff obviously meant a lot to JJ was treated horribly, and even then she kept an open mind. The line was crossed, and I don't blame her for wanting to distance herself from Ali. Info. What steps did you take back then to try to stop Ali from bullying Johanna? Not the asshole. What struck me is that Ali seems to want things to just blow over without her having to put in any effort herself. Maybe tell her that if she wants a better relationship with her sister, she's the one that has to put in the effort to repair things. An apology would be a good place to start. But she should also realize that even if she apologizes, her sister is under no obligation to let Ali into her life. Not the asshole. Frankly, she is lucky to still be treated cordially at family events. Maybe you should ask Ali what she has done to earn Johanna's forgiveness. The house stunk of E6000 and Mod Podge. You could guess what she spent the night doing. No, I could not. I thought this was some kind of drug slang, and until I googled it. Figured she spent the night depressed and getting high, haha. Not wanting to hang out together is one thing, but destroying the scrapbook is horrific. It reminds of Amy burning Joe's story in Little Women. Not the asshole for telling Ali she shouldn't expect an invite after her behavior, but you are the asshole for dismissing the frankly abusive relationship as normal teenage drama and not defending your daughter better growing up. Not the asshole. You really should have stepped in sooner, but at least you're not caving to Ali. Not the asshole. You should have done something about Ali's behavior way earlier, so you are the asshole for letting Johanna suffer for so long. But you're 100% right in the way you responded to Ali this time. Not the asshole. If I was Jay, I would be very suspicious that A wants to get in the inside if the wedding to ruin it. If she could destroy her dad's things, why wouldn't she ruin Jay's happy day? There is absolutely nothing to suggest A has actually changed. She's still demanding things be her way. Not the asshole. At least not for your current attitude. What on earth were you thinking when bringing up your daughter? How did you let Ali be this way? Honestly, seems like you raised a psychopath, and unless she does have a severe mental illness, you don't have an excuse for it. Johanna, on the other hand, seems to have been raised excellently by your wife, if only she had been Ali's guardian from the beginning. At least you're finally standing up, but it's too little too late. This could have all been avoided with proper parenting in their formative years. I read your replies to the other comments. You're making excuses. Had you been a decent guardian, you would have trained that behavior away before it ever escalated. NTA. Also, she wants Johanna to just move on, but has she even made an attempt at a sincere apology? Sounds like Ali just wants you to put pressure on Johanna so she can hang out at the wedding. It's her mess to fix, not yours. Ali sounds like the typical person that loves excluding people and making them feel bad but hates it when it's done to her. She used to love it when she was the Regina George and had her stepsister terrorized, but now that her sister just doesn't care about her, she hates that her power has faded and wants to be closer to test the waters. Not the asshole. Good parents don't spare their children from the consequences of the children's actions, except in case of death or other serious harm. Sucks to be Ali, but because of Ali's own actions. Not the asshole, but Jesus Christ, was there some shitty parenting here? Everyone sucks here except for Johanna. You massively failed as a parent. How in the world could you let Ali behave like that for years? It sounds like you tried one or two things and then just gave up when those things did not work. Good for Johanna for sticking up for herself. I am not sure what Ali was expecting after bullying Johanna for years. Not the asshole. While I was reading the story, I knew what I was going to comment by the end. I wasn't surprised to see you told your daughter the same thing. She made her bed. I can't believe she was in college still acting that way. I strongly feel you have every right to cut somebody off, even immediate family, if they are bringing you down. Ali is toxic for Johanna. You are the asshole for letting Ali get away with treating her sister like this for so long, and just thinking Johanna could take it in stride. You are the asshole for allowing your daughter to do what she wanted to Johanna with mild repercussions. Not the asshole for what you said to Ali about the wedding. You are the asshole the people of Am I the Asshole have spoken, and instead of accepting the result, you lash out on by telling everyone on this sub to never have kids. Yikes. Now we see where Ali gets it from. Everyone sucks here except Johanna. The punishments and conversations with Ali obviously weren't working, and you, as parents, didn't protect Johanna from her sister's cruelty and torture. You are n. tar for telling Ali she deserves this because she honestly does. Poor Johanna. Not the asshole. Ali has shown Johanna exactly what kind of person she is over and over again. Johanna finally believes her. I would leave it alone if I were you. Ali is reaping what she sowed. So let her now enjoy the fruits of her labor. Info. When it became clear that the two daughters didn't jive, was there a reason that Ali couldn't have gone to live with her mother or Johanna with her father? Ali is a miserable human being and now in her mid-20s, short of some life-altering event she isn't going to change. Op doesn't get an award for, finally, standing up to his brat daughter. In fact, now that he has done so, he is going to experience firsthand what Johanna went through as Ali turns on him now. Not the asshole. Ali doesn't get a get-out-of-jail-free card for what she's done. Not wanting to do things with Johanna is one thing, but to intentionally destroy things that are important, and basically irreplaceable, is much more than just about anyone would be willing to forgive. Not the asshole. It's terrible that it even reached this point, but Ali's behavior is horrendous. She was given chances and she fucked it up. She's an adult now, she can deal with the consequences. Not the asshole, but you are a pretty terrible parent to allow her to be bullied. I'm surprised she is still talking to you at all. You let her down in a profound way. Op really told us not to become parents like HES Parent of the Year. I just wanted to add the fact that in his edit he also mentioned some of the obviously more severe comments and not any of the comments that actually provided some helpful information on what he could have done. If he was a good parent, he wouldn't have had to make this post in the first place. Not the asshole. And as a therapist, thank you for not forcing a teen into therapy. So many people do, and it's not fair to anyone involved. Not the asshole. If I was Johanna, the last thing I would want is Ali at my wedding to destroy it. Maybe Ali can repair their relationship someday, but now is not the time. You fully understand? So some spoiled brat destroyed the only pictures and memories you had left of your late parent while your living parent and their new spouse just sat back and twiddled their thumbs. Then that step-parent asked you to invite the person that vindictively robbed you of those keepsakes and tainted them forever to your wedding. Not the asshole. Ali lashed out and is facing the consequences of her actions, but is solely focused, as always, on what she wants. She's being a brat and doesn't like hearing no, nor being held accountable. She didn't want a sister, it seems. Now she doesn't have one. She can apologize, though I get the feeling she doesn't mean it, but Johanna doesn't have to accept it. Not the asshole. Johanna sounds like a strong and patient individual. She gives people more than enough rope to hang themselves with. Ali seems entitled and doesn't like when people are against her. She seems very toxic and Johanna has every right to not be with her. Good on you for telling Ali it's her own fault. The only people that need to be at the wedding are the bride and groom. Not the asshole. You're in the right. College-aged girls know better than to act like that. Not the asshole for telling her that she's reaping the consequences of her actions. You are the asshole for not reining in or flat out having Ali removed from the home when she was bullying. That asshole is yours. She was an adult. So fucking what? Cut her out until she can find some damned compassion. That is your failing. Poor Johanna has my sympathies. She's dealing with the damage Ali caused. Now you're doing this forgive and forget bullshit over literal abuse. Destroying personal property is a form of abuse. No, absolutely not. You weren't the one permanently harmed by Ali, so stop suggesting any type of forgive and move on. Try standing on the side of the abused person and not on the side of the abuser. Not the asshole. Ali burned her bridges with intentional cruelty. You can't pull that back or wipe it away. If Ali had truly changed and wanted to make amends, she would need to approach Johanna privately and bow her head in repentance. Instead, she just wants what seems convenient and fun to her. I'm glad Johanna is doing well. She seems like a good egg. Not the asshole. Your daughter is reaping as she sowed. If she really wants reconciliation, she needs to be contrite, not entitled. Except for Johanna, who is honestly an angel. Why didn't you, the adult, stop any of this? Info. What I don't understand is why the sudden change of heart. It's out of the blue and can't just be because she wants the kids of the person she hated significant other much to be bestest buddies all of a sudden. You are the asshole. You failed Johanna big time. Not the asshole for pointing out to Ali actions have consequences. YTA for not putting a stop to this years earlier. Despite Johanna's accepting it, you and your wife should have stepped up much sooner, before the college incident, and made Ali get some help, made her stop when grounding didn't work. NTA. But I've learned from reading Am I the Asshole posting that one's about parenting and never well received, so I get your frustration at many comments. The internet really shows its lack on nuance where parenting is concerned. Johanna didn't make a stink about it in front of us, but that night the house stunk of E6000 and Mod Podge. You could guess what she spent the night doing. Can I get a translation for this? Non-native speaker. X. YTA for letting her act like such a beat at H for all those years. All that bullying went on right in front of you, and what did you do about it? Nothing from the sound of it. Now your daughter has come whinging to daddy because she can't get her own way now that her sister is an adult and not under your guy's control. You are not tar for telling her the truth though. Has she ever apologized? Ever tried to make it up to her? I would not trust her not to try and ruin the wedding. Info. Did Ali ever offer any sort of explanation as to why she's like that? Has she ever lashed out similarly to you and your wife? How old was she when you divorced her mom and when the mom passed? Everyone sucks here except Johanna. What you said was correct. Ali did this to herself and needs to realize that her actions have consequences. However, you're an absolutely terrible parent for allowing Ali to treat Johanna like that. That was not run-of-the-mill petty teenager bullstink, that was downright horrendous and abusive behavior that you allowed for years. It should have been corrected immediately, and the first time Ali destroyed Johanna's belongings she should have been severely punished. That is not normal behavior. Stop trying to tell Johanna to let it go. She has every right to cut Ali out of her life, and with your lack of support and protection over the years I'm surprised she hasn't done the same with you. You should have put a stop to this shit years ago. You made your bed, now you need to lie in it. To paraphrase your own advice to your daughter. That night the house stunk of E6000 and Mod Podge. You could guess why she spent the night doing. I have zero idea what she spent the night doing. Not the asshole. Obviously. But her shame, and from shame, anger and self-resentment, is so extreme she may never be able to take responsibility for what she did. She won't even be able to see it.